Welcome back to Saharatv and the continuation of our world exclusive today, talking about the atrocities of the Olusegun Obasanjo regime between 1999 and 2007. As you all are aware, within this period, there was a lot of assassination, high-profile assassination. I want to just take you through, three major ones, which was Bola, who was the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, who was killed in 2001. Harry Marshall, who was leader of ANPP, party, was killed in 2003, and Amina Soare Dikibo, who was also the vice president of the PDP South. Vice chairman, was also killed in 2004. Within this period, lots of corruption, political assassinations, electoral manipulations, blackmails, and cover-ups. And that's what we are here discussing today. And the petition that has been sent out to the National Assembly, of course, discusses basically things that pertinent in these allegations and issues, and corrupt enrichment, of which Chief Obasanjo did a lot but was never punished for, is one major one. And in it, we will quickly go and talk about the Mofas account. We'll talk about the sale of major state assets like the Ajaokuta Steel Company, the Halliburton bribery scandal, of which Bodunde Olanyonju Adeyonju, was the one who actually received $6 million in that bribe money that eventually went to the president. High-profile assassinations we've been discussing all along. That's Adeyonju and Mr. Odusanya there on the screen. And then you have a lot of criminal imposition, including how President Obasanjo imposed somebody he knew was dying. That was President Yar'Adua at that time, because he was unhappy with the nation for defeating his third-term agenda. So let's start with you, Segun, Seriki, once again, about, to summarize why your leadership rescue initiative is taking on this very, very highly volatile and powerful issue,
The issue is as simple as this. We are in 2013 now. We are being structured to be looking up to 2015. But we don't normally have elections. You see, the way Obasanjo did, if this president were to be as arbitrary and irrational as he was, then we are laying a legacy of a banana republic.
But we're there already. Are we not a banana republic already?
And if we look at certain issues in our past, which is the essence of history, I repeat again, rather than unorthodox cutting of corners, it will afford President Obasanjo opportunity to clear his name on issues of probity and corruption. Take, for instance, as we speak, an account that he was closely involved in benefiting from is in deficit of about 7 billion naira.
Okay, let's talk about that account. Which account? We're talking about the Mofas account.
And the bank is dead.
International Bank.
So that was the account that was the place where you got all the funds to do gifts to the politicians.
To buy cars.
Yes, you mentioned vehicle, and you actually bought one of the most controversial vehicles from the Mofas account. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, the 607 Peugeot. I bought the car. I raised a draft from TIB, bought the car from ASD Motors Area 3. And of course, on the chieftaincy, on the date of the chieftaincy title of Miss Lamide Adegbenro, I took the car there with cash gift.
How much was the cash gift?
$500,000.
So you bought a car, and you took 500,000 naira to deliver to her the day she was having her chieftaincy. And that's a photo of that event, by the way. So how much was the car bought for? Do you remember?
About 6 or 7 million between.
So you understand what I'm saying? My own interest is it amounts to abuse of office if the custodian of the economy as the president of the Federal Republic creates a phony account in conjunction with some proxies and executes personal interest and whatever, and the account a priori is in deficit of 7 billion, and a lot of people lost their job.
so
And we are running.
The bank is under.
It's under now.
Underwater.
You understand? And we are running a country. Then it leaves to be imagined what he could have been doing as head of state and minister of petroleum.
And one of the things you said was that when Otumba Fashawe was eventually arrested,
yes,
quote
because
unquote, when they were questioning him, he said,
yes.
"Oh, you know, this is not my account.
We should
This
ask.
is
We should ask, in his arbitrariness,
Yes.
he chose to try Fashawe.
Okay.
Upon discovering of certain things in the account, to the fact that he was the owner of the account, they discontinued the trial.
Was he ever tried? Because you said you
The
saw
investigation
Fashawe.
under EFCC.
Yes. You say you saw Fashawe in the EFCC detention. Tell us what happened.
Well, he was just there, detained for 3 months. And of course, the EFCC investigators, they discovered they could not continue unless the president himself
Was implicated.
was implicated. And that, of course, is a no-go area.
So did Fashawe tell you when he was in detention and when you met him, you know, what he, that he will just spill the bean? You know, I'm going to tell the truth that I'm doing this for the president. Did he say that?
There is an issue. There is no bill to spin. And this present government has done something that we are not taking full advantage of it as responsible people. When we say we don't have responsive leadership, we should appreciate that we don't have responsive followership. Because there is a freedom of information bill. As we speak, all these facts are in public domain. It is our love for irrational operations that make us to continue as business as usual. And that's why I was saying, aside of talking to the National Assembly, it will have been a direct indictment of the police because institutionally, the police have been trying a lot of these issues. Institutionally, the EFCC have been trying a lot of these issues. So the president is at liberty to call to order those executive organizations. More so, the headship has changed. Because you remember before Eyindero left, he paraded some people and said, these are the killers of Ike. But you know they were not the killer. If at the highest of the police of the country, you are doing something, it shows desperation at highest quarters to hoodwink us as a nation.
In fact, they paraded also the people they claim were the killers of Harry Marshall. They
Yes.
paraded the people they claim were the killers
so
of
these
the
are
people.
issues that we now say, as we speak today, take for instance this issue of corruption. Obasanjo should be glad to want to earn his credibility. Here you have a special assistant, personal assistant domestic. He has accepted to Nigerian police that he collected $6 million. Then what the police doing about it?
And the Halliburton.
No. This guy said when he was detained, he acknowledged that he collected $6 million bribe. Are you thinking Obasanjo is such a docile leader that the personal assistant domestic will collect $6 million on his behalf?
And he won't know.
And he won't know? Or at what point is that man important to Halliburton as a personal assistant domestic?
Well, let's bring you in there, Mr. Odusanya. You actually was with Bola Bodunde the day he was released by the police. Tell our viewers what he said to you in the car.
No, actually, he said to me that, of course, he admitted collecting the $6 million bribe, but he did not implicate
Baba.
Well, he's referring to Obasanjo.
Yes, that's what they call him.
You're not getting this.
Yeah.
So when you look at that one, you now move to one of the richest Nigerians in government today, Andy Uba. He was a special assistant domestic. What was his declaration?
Salary.
No, salary apart. What was his declaration at the point of appointment? I think he came from America for that appointment. Yeah. Was he a successful person in America? No. So he came with this man who is the saint, who is the architect of anti-corruption. And as today, if you see what he declared as the governor of Anambra State that was short-lived, you will be shocked.
Do you know Andy
what country are we running that way?
Where you were at the Defense House, did you know him?
We know each other very closely. We all started this government. As a matter of fact, let me say that ab initio, I did not start by being at the background. At the dying days of the then government, I was responsible for so many things. Virtually all the documents of the president-elect were handed over to me. And of course,
President-elect as who?
Obasanjo then.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I played an active role at the inaugural committee headed by Professor Tunde Adeniro. I was a resource person. Ferdinand Agutu was there. Dr. Bola was there. And of course, I mean, I couldn't have been talking about knowing Andy or no. We all, in fact, at some point, I played a more critical role than some of them.
So, with regards to Andy, you're saying that you knew about what he declared when he started working with Obasanjo in '99, and what he declared when he became governor of.
I mean, these are the issues. I mean, these are documents.
Let's have him. Let him just say.
No, I couldn't have been going around with Andy, but these are documents that are in government institutions that should be provided. What was he before the domestic thing?
He was
somebody here in America.
He was an insurance broker, maybe earning.
So then, what did he declare upon becoming the governor of Anambra?
Do you have an idea?
It's, of course, in trillion.
He declared trillions of naira.
Yeah, they should.
These are issues that will enable Obasanjo tell people he is an architect of anti-corruption. You understand what I mean? That's why I said it's not the issue of who sent you or who didn't send you. If somebody killed your father, and at a point, facts are coming out, and what you have the decency to ask is, were you sent by somebody to let us know who killed my father? Then one must be a bastard.
Here in your petition, you also mentioned the Ajaokuta Steel Company, which was sold to give away price.
Didn't Benga tell you that he wasn't the only person that sold Ajaokuta?
Well, let him come on. He has some things to tell us there.
On the day President Obama was elected for the first time, Benga put a call through to me.
Benga Obasanjo.
Yes, Benga Obasanjo. And said to me, he said, quoting the famous Reverend gentleman, he said, from today, I know that I'll be judged by the content of my character. A very reference to his father. And said to me that he was just trying to hold his peace, that the issue of Ajaokuta is still there, that he merely benefited from the consultancy, that it should be known that it was Andy and his father that outrightly engaged in this fraud.
You also mentioned in your petition that the police equipment fund, which was created by Obasanjo's in-law, who's by name Kenny Martins, was also one of the illegalities of this corruption by proxy by President Olusegun Obasanjo. I want you to actually briefly tell people what Obasanjo had, because you saw him when he came out of jail, and you told me he had only one car.
Wait a minute. You see, we cannot run a country without refer to Constitution. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is simplistic as to the existence and the maintenance of the Nigerian police. So if we are to continue this madness, at a point, somebody will raise Nigeria Army Equipment Fund.
Yes.
What kind of a nation is that?
Sorry.
Well, let's go to Obasanjo and what he had as of 1999 when because you met him, when he was released from prison.
Yeah, at that point.
You said his family had even started selling all his
property. No, not started. They sold off everything.
Except the car.
And the reason why that car could not be sold is that it was a gift, the natural gift to pass head of state from the secretary to the government's office, which was a 505. And I mean, it has a government number. That's the only reason why that was not sold.
So where did he get the car to run the campaign from?
Well, it started even from Lieutenant General Danjuma, who graciously, through John Dara, obliged them fund to run their initial program.
The issue goes beyond this mundane.
No, because if we don't break it down at that level, some people will not understand where we're coming from. I want you to finish that. Where did John Dara get the car from?
He bought it.
So Danjuma gave John Dara?
No. He bought it from Olusegun.
Let's give it to him that he was considered a responsive and viable candidate, and a lot of people rallied around him. Now, the
But that
balance
does not
on the
erase
ground now,
that does not erase the fact that these were proceeds of corruption.
that is the
And
point.
patronage, and that's what we are trying
That's
to
what,
end.
that means after the election, the balance on the ground, I would have honored President Obasanjo if he were to continue to live in his former house,
Yes.
the way Madiba is doing. But when you have the appetite for what your take-home cannot provide, you are trying to corrupt.
Today he has
A
mansions.
mansion competing with Babangida. He has a lot of people pretending to be borrowing aircraft. He has in proxy. He has so many things.
He has aircraft in
By proxy. You
Yeah,
see, these
by
are
proxy.
issues that he will be able to say, like, you say, Andy Why is my son, oh, he helps me. But it was your poor son that you corruptly enriched.
So, do you have more to add regarding what you know
About them.
about the Obasanjo regime? Because this is apparently very, very strong allegations that have been made today. But you have backed up your position with naming names and providing instances, inferences, providing photographs of people, the main characters in this. Do you have more to tell us?
Well, we do have more.
Because there's a Sagem National ID Card Project scam.
Yeah,
also.
that's
It's very interesting, you see, because we need to just make some summaries. Take, for instance, an issue. There was an ID card project. And there were several ID card projects, and they were all phony, because after this one, his son also did an ID card of his own.
His son.
Obasanjo's son.
Oh, what's his name?
So,
Okay.
you understand that kind of thing? All these things will give him opportunity to keep date with honor if they are not to sweep things under the carpet.
But I also don't want us to sweep that question of the ID card project under the carpet.
There was an issue of a $7 million bribe that was discovered in London.
Who was given $7 million bribe?
Obasanjo's friend.
Okay.
But the issue for determination is he was grandstanding and playing to the gallery with the international community by arresting SM of Polabi, all these people that were not involved in the fraud. You see, when somebody is an expert in deceit, and that person becomes the architect of the destiny of a nation, the nation is ruined. That is the truth.
No doubt.
So when he was grandstanding now, he knows the source of the money. And it didn't even stop him from reproducing that ID card. As we speak, there is no ID card in Nigeria.
Yes.
So you understand me?
So what do you suggest should be done?
Thank you.
Yes.
What we seek is for the leadership of the National Assembly to keep a date with destiny by becoming the champion of the cause of the people of Nigeria, by invoking their rightful constitutional right of legislative investigation into, take for instance, just the Bola death, for the nation to be relieved the way the people of Boston was relieved just yesterday, because they have a responsive government. And that is not to exclude President Jonathan, who has more to gain from Nigeria than probably Nigeria from him, because he has a debt with destiny. Coming from the background he came from, he should devoid from all these pretenses that somebody put in there and do something that are right.
You mentioned the National Assembly, but with due respect, do you think that people like David Mack, who were also imposed on the National Assembly by the Obasanjo political manipulation,
that is why
we actually turn against him? Do you
let
actually believe that that will
me
happen?
tell you something now. We are here today because pessimism is the architect of failure. We are optimistic that a new dawn will happen to Nigeria. And Nigeria is lucky that now there is a Freedom of Information Bill. We need to do more. It is in their interest to want to work against us. And the way we are going about this project, we are not desirous of taking credit for the project. As we speak to you, which you know, a lot of these facts are in the hands of a lot of credible people who, mere terminating the life of somebody or harassing one person, will not kill the truth behind a lot of these projects. So you see, if Martin Luther King were to think, when will they get to a free America? As young as we were still witnesses to when they say blacks are not electable. but Plaza become president. So I don't want to talk about the shortcomings, but I know truth is stronger than deceit. And God is stronger than evil. It is for them to bother. But we have put it in their domain that you aspire to eminence. These are the requirements of eminence.
Listen, we have just one more minute to go on this show. And this has been very, very powerful discussion, revelations about a very, very recent history of Nigeria. Very recent, contemporary.
Okay, take for instance this third time. How can a 70-plus-year-old man in good conscience pretend and deny his life action?
Yes.
Does that look responsible?
You fought against third time.
Oh, we fought against it.
We fought against third time with the Atiku Abubakar.
You have credible information that Obasanjo was behind it.
Not credible information, verifiable information as to how he corrupted our National Assembly, and verifiable information as to a lot of untoward approval he subjected himself to out of greed.
Yeah.
When you left the slush fund at the Mofar's account, because you left after you said your conscience won't let you continue with this, when you left, do you have an idea of the kind of unofficial group that took over the kind of errands you were running?
Well, there are really no...
No, they will be running into problem even then, because...
But because they continue, let's just have him say that.
You see, Andy took over. Andy took over.
Okay.
He took over the function of
Fashawe. Wow. So,
and he did it very well.
No, he did very well. He was more,
he was more organized, and more vicious against Nigeria.
I will end here by asking you, fellows, great conscience, conviction about this. Are you not afraid for your life?
Let me take that.
Yes.
And I want it to be on record.
Yes.
I have the backing of my lovely wife and my children on this.
To do this?
No, on this.
Trajectory.
Yes. And I am not going back to Nigeria and ask for any security anywhere or protection. I'm a strong believer in the supremacy of God. At no time do I have any concern about this. And I am saying this, that for everything there is a price. I am willing, even if it is the supreme price. I'm not afraid of anybody. And I'm putting it on record that I will not go back to Nigeria and ask for favor or security from anybody, be it government, individuals, or corporate entity. Thank you.
Segun Seriki.
Excellent.
Yes.
You see, I smile when people market fear. Fear in itself is the enemy of eminence. For me, I am not bothered. At this age, I've got children. I am really, really bothered that increasingly the future of our children are being ruined by rascals. So if you are to keep alive and become a Methuselah, what becomes of your children? And that's the reason why we found ourselves in this position. Everybody try to pretend it's dangerous and he will look for area to partake in the loot. We can't continue like this. I'll tell you, when I was in the Federal House, I was one of the youngest. But because the way Nigeria is being run, for those of us who cannot capture power, the career has been kind of maligned and ruined, because what is required to progress and win election becomes evil. So fundamentally, I have a fundamental conviction that life in itself becomes worthless if one is just to be genuflexing and be a vegetable.
Well, on that note, I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on Saharatv.
And I will add,
yes,
it will have been more honorable if, rather than, which is what they would think, because they are not agents of God, rather than thinking of how to circumvent truth, I think that's one of the reasons why we went to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Because in Nigeria now, before you call Jack Robinson, they will go and get an injunction. Injunction that police should not investigate them. Injunction that Attorney General should not touch them. But I think with the separation of power, the legislator, they have fundamental responsibility to Nigerians.
Yeah. We promise that we'll keep pushing this, and I'm sure that thousands and millions of Nigerians are hearing you now, and they will be reached in the process of disseminating this information. I want to thank you seriously and very strongly for having the courage to come on Saharatv here in New York to talk about the atrocities that, did change, in fact, the course of the destiny of such a great nation. Yeah. So, viewers, my name once again is Omoyele Shure, and we've been on Saharatv today talking to two gentlemen who came forward to reveal and expose the atrocities of one of Nigeria's longest-serving presidents in history, Olusegun Obasanjo, and his regime. And they have told so much, provided so much evidence, and we will push more of this evidence through our website, SaharaReporters.com, Saharatv, and also our FM radio station that is new online, Sahara FM Radio, and every other ways that we have consistently reached you on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and other means possible. So we want to thank you so much for listening and watching today. And we'll be back with these gentlemen to check with them the progress of their work, and we'll keep you informed about how things are going. Don't go away. There's more to come.